Hey guys, it is Sunday fun day, and I am out feeding the chipmunk before we take off to go watch football. But I just wanted to hop on, go over today's message, which is I can hear God throughout the day, wherever I go. So just kind of meditated on that this morning, and that's just something to say to yourself throughout the day, which I will do every now and then. Still no word from my girl, and I've been sending her little messages here and there, so that's a little challenging, but I am holding on to faith, and just kind of wanted to share that and share today's message, and if it helps somebody else, I really hope it does. So thanks guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Good morning. It is Monday, and I say good morning, but it doesn't feel like the best morning. Oh my god, I am so done with the construction going on my road. I had to wait forever to get out of my driveway, and it's just been a pain in the ass, and it's been a kind of rough morning, a little bit of a rough weekend, to be honest, because as much as I try to hang on to the focus of being positive and doing my affirmations and meditations, sometimes just you kind of lose that drive of positivity, and I just feel a little bit that way today. Last night when I went to bed, I was just kind of like, oh my god, am I going down the wrong road here? Do I even know what I'm talking about? Is all of this positivity even getting me anywhere? Just having those doubts, and I kind of want to share that because I'm sure I'm not alone in this. And today's affirmation from A Course in Miracle was basically God's love is what sustains me, and kind of tried to meditate on that for a bit, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a little bit of a struggle because I still haven't heard from my daughter, and that's just so painful. And I don't know, I just kind of reflect on my life sometimes, and I think I'm not where I ever thought I'd be or really want to be. The weather's getting cold, so that's putting me more in a depression. I'm going through, of course, menopause with the hot flashes, not much fun, and winter's coming, so it's really cold in the mornings, and it's dark, and it gets dark really early at night, and it's dark when I wake up, and I really do not want to be living in Maine much longer, as beautiful as it is in the summer and fall. I know it snows around the corner, and yeah, I'm kind of done with that. So all of those things going in my mind, and just I am trying to hold on, I really am, but it's a rough morning. It's a time of reflection, of thinking, am I really where I want to be? And I always said I want to share the ups and the downs and be real with this, and if anyone ever is watching it, then to show that even if you are in this positive place and you have good intentions, you don't always feel that way. It's not what comes up must go down, right? And what's down must come back up. So whenever I get like this, sort of feeling sorry for myself, I realize that it will get better. I do know that, but I also want to share when I'm feeling this way, because it's real. This is humanity. This is what we go through, right? Ups and downs, and sometimes we just downright feel sorry for ourselves, because let's face it, life can be pretty damn shitty sometimes, and it's not like it's horrible. There could be a lot worse going on in my life, but there could be a lot better too. So yeah, just pulling into work now. Happy Monday, and let's hope that the day gets a little brighter, and I'm sure it will. Good morning. It is Tuesday, and I'm feeling a little better today than I did yesterday. Not 100%, but definitely better. There was a full moon last night, which was quite beautiful, and I now that it's so dark, when I get up in the morning, I can see the moon. So I kind of did a little meditation, like in front of the moon, and also the birds. Had a lot of birds at the feeder today, which is always nice, and the bright red cardinal, so beautiful. Lots of blue jays, all of them together. And when I see the cardinal and blue jay together, it always makes me feel like things are not so bad, I guess. On the negative side of that, last night I noticed I got a message from her dad and said he had FaceTimed her, which it's kind of a kick in the face because she talks to him and doesn't talk to me. But not just that, he said she was definitely very high, could barely get her words out. That's how high she was. So I've advocated, I just sent a letter, I've advocated on and on for them to get her involved and help her get a job or get her involved in activities. And I know that's easier said than done, but being that that's your kind of job as a residential treatment program, it gets frustrating to know she is still out spending her days smoking weed. So that's that. Today I have a job interview, and normally I'm really anxious about that, and I am a little bit, but you'll get the right job, and if it's not the right job, you don't, and that's how I look at it. This job in particular is still working for the state, and it is for the Office of Marijuana Policy, so I'm a little excited. I don't know a lot about that, obviously, but I feel like that would help me a lot. For one, it opens a lot of dialogue for me because that's her passion, right? So I'd like to learn more, because she's always like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And so I want to learn more in that way, because I know to her that's the only medication that helps her, even though it's what really hurts her. And that's the other side of things, because I would like to learn more about the medical side of it and what they plan to do for, to me, I see that there is a huge problem for people with mental illness who are using marijuana to self-medicate, but they're overusing it. So it doesn't medicate, it sends them into psychosis. And I know this for a fact because I've seen it with my daughter, and I've asked emergency room staff, I've asked several of the doctors, and they are seeing this happen over and over. So there's a part of me that would like to get into that and find out what they're doing. Are they talking to doctors? What are they doing to regulate that, or are they doing anything? So yeah, a couple reasons why I think that would be a really good job, and so I'm hoping, but again, my life doesn't depend on it, and honestly, I was hoping to find a job not through the state of Maine so that I can move. The good thing about this job is it is remote work, so that's awesome because I can work from home again. But it's also keeping me married to this state, which I don't want. So I'm going to look at it as, hey, if it's meant to be, it will. And that's how I feel about it. I hope that all goes well, and of course I'll let you know, but thankfully I'm feeling in a little better spirits today. Otherwise this interview might not go as well as I wanted to. So again, I'm running into work, but thank you for listening, and I'll let you know how that interview went. Okay, that was quick. I'm back in my car like an hour later. Not even, because the house where she resides got in touch with me, well, earlier for a medication change. They had to send something, and I had voiced my concern, and so now they're like, oh, do you want to meet today? And I'm like, okay, well, when it comes to meeting about this, I need to go home. Thankfully, I have a very short commute. So I had to let my supervisor know, like, when they want to meet and they come up with the time, I gotta take it, or yeah, you just never know when you're guaranteed to meet again. And clearly they have some concerns too. A part of me is like, oh my god, I've got so much anxiety around this. Apparently she's not home at the moment. Big shocker. She's out wandering the streets, and so I don't think she'll be at the meeting. But I'm trying to look at this as positive, because I have been so worried, and I would like to hear, you know, is there a plan? What might the plan be? And all that stuff. And usually trying to coordinate a meeting with everyone. Everyone meaning the director of the home, the case manager, the therapist, her dad, and I. That's like an act of God in itself. So I was like, yep, okay, give me 15 minutes. I gotta run home. And so that in itself is good, because otherwise I've got a lot of stuff generating in my mind, and I really just want to hear what their plan of action is, or if they even have one. At the same time, I'm scared as hell, because I don't know what's going to be said. Of course, you think of the worst case scenarios too. Oh, she can no longer live here, she's using too much. I don't know. I'm going to just try to look at it as a positive light, that everybody is able to meet on such short notice, and that I have an awesome supervisor who you know, is very open to this stuff, knowing the situation. So I don't mind heading home early, but yeah, a lot going on in my mind. And I think this is another example for is awful for the person. Like, I'm not discrediting that at all, but it's no picnic for the parents either, or whoever the family members are that are dealing with it, the husband, wife, whatever. Because you have emergencies. You got to pick up and leave. You've got to be, you just never know. You're living in a constant state of what ifs and fear, and when the other shoe's gonna drop. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that, and that's why I'm taking it. I figure this is the best way to kind of vlog this stuff, because someday this may help others to realize, even if it's not a family member. I think it's really important to educate people around mental illness and the suffering that surrounds it. This shit's real, guys, and it's a constant battle, and people need to recognize that for the person that has the illness and for the caregiver. So yeah, I'm looking at this as going to be a very productive meeting, and I'm going to feel better after, and that's what I'm thinking. So say a prayer, and I'll, of course, as always, let you know.
With a clear slate for us to listen, us to better understand a lot of
Good morning. Running late today, but I'm not too worried about it. I won't be too late. A couple minutes. Okay, so full moon last night. I went to sleep pretty well. I slept well. I woke up and I could still see the full moon, so I spent this morning, I put a chair in front of the window and just kind of looked at the moon. It's so pretty. I fed the birds, and tons of birds came to the feeder this morning, which was really nice. So focusing on, you know, that's, again, this is my meditation, is focusing on the birds, feeling grateful, looking at the moon, just tapping into that hope and faith. I check my phone, of course, and I'm always a little nervous of what I'll see, whether it's going to be a message that something is wrong from the house, or a notification on social media that she's posted something, which usually means it's that is never a good thing, because it's usually posting something not very nice. So yeah, it's always a relief not to see anything on the phone, and no news is good news, like I said. So I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I'm enjoying the beautiful fall colors. It is chilly, and in a couple months I'm really just not going to want to leave the house. I'm so hoping I can find another remote position so that I can work from home again in the comforts of my warm house and not have to worry about driving in snowstorms. So yeah, that would be pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm really trying to change my thoughts. This is when I go, toxic positivity, or self-preservation, or is it truth? Whatever it is, I get through this by believing and thinking positively. And people can say what they want, whether or not they think that works. That's, everyone has their own opinion, but for me, it's what gets me through the day. And I mean, it seems to work for me. So it's funny, I'm running late to work, of course, and I get behind this, I don't know what it is, I think it's a wood chipper, pulled out in front of me, so I'm going like 25 miles an hour. But again, not gonna get myself upset. I'm feeling pretty relaxed, and it's like, just go with the flow. And that's all we can do. Try to live in the moment, not look for, I'm really trying not to predict the future or be fearful of the future, not compare it to the past, because if I do that, then I'm doomed, because the past is, has not achieved great results. So I'm really just trying to focus on the here and now and moment by moment, and be thankful for every moment that I have, that I'm not hearing something catastrophic happening. So yeah, we'll see. But I am very focused on having a good day, the best day I can, and that's that. And I am officially 2 minutes late, and I'm pulling into the parking lot now, so whatever. It's so funny, because probably a year ago, something like this I used to be like a stickler about time. Oh my gosh, if I was late for something, it was the end of the world. I mean, I would get myself worked up into a panic. And one thing about going through all of this stuff, you put things into perspective, right? So yeah, what's the big deal that you're running late for work when a lot worse could be going on? Okay, I'm gonna head in. Thanks for listening. Okay, I'm back in the car, and I am headed out on my lunch break, and it's been an interesting day so far. It started with, I got a call from, of course, like, I see the name and it makes me happy but scared at the same time, because I know that the mania is sort of kicking in. So I had seen that she had called, and I immediately called back, because either way, of course, I want to hear that voice. And I called back and she sounded pretty low, but then she started talking so quickly I couldn't understand what she was saying, and I thought she said, "I love you." And I said, "Oh, thank you so much, you just made my whole day." And she's like, "What just made your whole day?" I said, "That you said you loved me." She's like, "I never said I loved you. Stop calling me." And I was like, "Well, you called me first." And she's like, "Well, I just wanted to see if my phone was working." And I said, "Okay." And then she hung up on me. But yeah, her voice was really, she was just talking so quickly, I really didn't understand some of what she was saying. And she didn't say much, obviously, before she I let them know over at the house, and her dad, and we all agree that there's apparently she's been bringing edibles into the house, which is a federal program, so really not supposed to do that. And so she's brought them in the house, like she's getting pretty ballsy. And so when she does that, it's like they can actually ask her to leave for doing that type of thing, and maybe that's why she's doing it at this point. I know she doesn't want to be there, but the lady I'm talking to, she's not at the residence, so she was, I guess, texting over there or called over there, and yeah, they're a little concerned about her as well, because they can see that she's going into mania, borderline psychosis. It's very obvious to me that is not the place she needs to be, because basically she got out of the hospital, they sent her back there, they had all these grand plans to get her to do things, and nothing was done. So she's just been doing the same thing she always does, which is just using it for a place to sleep. And she goes off all day and does her smokes or whatever, does her thing, and comes back to eat and sleep. But there's no, I don't think she's getting really therapy. Maybe once a week she's talking to someone briefly, but just, it's supposed to be like, it's for the severely mentally ill, and they're supposed to require services and taking classes or a job or something, and just, it hasn't been done. And she's been hospitalized more since being put into that, since living there, than when she was at home. So clearly something's not working. And interestingly enough, the director that used to be at the house, who I really liked and I thought did a better job, quite frankly, but the director moved to work for the state, and now she's kind of in charge of PNMIs in the state. She's like the director. So I actually sent her an email, because I work for the state as well, and so I found her email very easily, and I basically said, what are the options here? Like, it's not safe where she's at. Are there any other options? And then if she is hospitalized again, I think what we need is an advocate. She's not going to listen to me. I've been the only true advocate. I mean, her dad to an extent, but I'm the one that's always coming up with ideas and looking for resources, and she needs somebody to fight for her. And so I asked if she could just point me in a direction, because my fear is the next time, if she's hospitalized again this soon, and then she's refusing to go back to the house, which I don't want her to go back to the house. So if she's hospitalized again, we're going to work on getting her somewhere else, but she's going to refuse. So it may end up being a judge ordering it, like ordering either going to the state hospital, the state psychiatric unit, which is what we really do not want. It would not be a good environment. Like, yeah, she'd be locked up and safe, but I don't want her in there. So I really need to find some outside sources where she is safer than she is now, but she doesn't need to be locked up into one of those. And yeah, no. So she also needs education on the use of marijuana and the fact that it's triggering psychosis. Like, she needs to figure that out, and I think it's another thing that should probably be mandated through the court system. It's probably the only way that's going to happen, But then again, if she's not ready for that, it's not going to work. So these are the thoughts that go through my mind as the mother who wants to find services to keep her protected, but geez, not so much so that I want her to live a normal life, of course. I want her to be happy. I don't want her to be bombarded with services. I just want her to find something she loves. If she's going to smoke pot, if she did it once in a while, just smoked a little flower, I guess they call it, not did edibles or dabs or whatever, she'd probably be okay. So that's where we're at. She did send me a text too, and it just said, because I sent her a text after we hung up, and I said, I hope you know that I love you. And she wrote back, why is my hair curly? So if that gives you any indication, yeah. I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm still holding on to hope that I hope she doesn't end up going into the hospital. I really hope she doesn't. But at the same time, she's safer there than where she is now. So, happy lunchtime for me. I'm not really hungry. I'm just going to go in and rest my mind a little bit because I wasn't even going to leave work, but I can't even focus on what I'm doing because it's that waiting for the next shoe to drop. You know it's coming, and it's just a matter of when, and it's anxiety provoking. And I think I just need to go turn TV on and try to not think of anything. So yeah, that's that. And of course I will keep you updated. Whew, okay, I think every time I get on here I'm looking a little more weathered. I'm feeling that way too, and I'm losing my voice because that's what happens when I get really stressed out. So I know for a fact she's going into psychosis. I see she's posting things like I mentioned before, and she just talking to someone she's talked to. She's not good. So I also know which dispensary she uses because her father, she has an account under her dad, and so he can see where she goes. So I just called that dispensary and I explained what was going on. I mean, I asked that they not say that it was me that called. Not that she could hate me much more than she already does, but yeah, she probably could. And they're going to put something in the notes, but I just said if she's acting erratic or causes a scene, that they should call the police because honestly, at that point, she's safer in a hospital than on the streets of Lewiston, obviously. So he looked up her account and he thanked me actually for calling because I felt like I didn't want to have to do that. I mean, I sound like, I don't know. It's not something I want to do, and I know it's something that would really upset her, but sometimes we have to save our kids from themselves, and that's what I felt that I was doing. I mean, I just urge people to do that if it comes to that, because the more people that realize the issue, the more they're going to want to help the person, and that does seem to be the case when I open up about it. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And so, oh gosh, I'm visibly shaking. You'd think, again, I don't know if this would be hospitalization number 14, 15 or something, but you think you get used to it, but you just don't. I hate this time because it's like this is when I know she's at her worst, her most vulnerable, and I'm so scared of her being out wandering the streets or whatever the heck she's doing. And yeah, so this is the hardest time. This, and when she's in the emergency room for days and then we're waiting for a placement, that's the second hardest. But I think this is the hardest because she's not safe. So sorry guys. So yeah, and this is the time when, as a parent or a loved one, I know it can be a spouse or whoever. You really do have to focus on self-care and try to keep your mind off of it, because sitting here and thinking about it, obsessing about the worst case scenarios is not helping her and certainly not helping me. And I have to try to stay strong, because if I lose it, it's just not going to do her any good. So, again, I'm just going to keep advocating for her, and I guess we'll take one moment at a time and see what happens. I did talk, I can't remember what I videotaped or not, but I've been talking to a lady from the state about PNMIs versus the state hospital, because I'm very concerned they're going to, her next step might be the state hospital, and maybe that's where she needs to be safe. I don't want her to be there, of course. So I've been trying to find places that are more restrictive than the PNMI, and less restrictive than the state hospital. And there is no such thing. So that is a problem. That is a problem, because it's like one extreme to the other. And that's why you see these people who have mental illness in jail. A lot of them are in jail and homeless and worse. And it's because we don't have the services. We have more people with the illness than we do services. And it is a problem. And I hope that it gets better. But I just need to seek out whatever services I can. So I'm just going to ask help to whoever the hell I can to find whatever it is I can find. And every time this happens, I have to put my trust into other people. And this is where I really do. I have to put my trust in other people and believe that they will watch over her and that she has angels surrounding her. But not all angels are invisible, so to speak. Some angels are other people that help to watch over our loved ones, and I've found quite a few of them, and it does give me a greater sense of gratitude for humanity when people do that. I think for the most part, people want to help, just like the guy from the dispensary doesn't know me from Adam, doesn't know me, and he wanted to help. People want to help for the most part. There are the few that don't, and that's what scares me. But I have to believe more people are good than not, and that's what I'm hoping right now. So I plan to keep updating, because I think it's important to record all processes, all steps, because it's one thing to talk to people about it after it happens, but you don't remember all the details and you don't see the true emotion. And the only reason I'm not a puddle when this started happening, of course, I would never be able to videotape it and I would be a wreck. But I've learned how to keep my composure, and I still have faith. Even through all of this, I know somehow internally that everything's going to work out. I know it will. I just wish it would happen sooner than later. So, all right, guys. I'll keep you updated. I kind of hope I don't hear anything tonight. I hope she goes to bed and she's safe and sound in her bed. It's raining here, so hopefully she's not out and about, but I honestly don't think it's going to be long. So thanks, guys. I am outside again, obviously. And it's weird looking in the camera because it looks like a lot of movement, but of course I can't see that without the camera, so I don't know what the heck that is. Like, it looks like a fog. I have no clue. Anyway, looking at the moon, I don't know, it makes me feel closer to her. I know things are spiraling for her right now, and I just want to say, if she ever watches this, that I love her so much. Honey, if you watch this, I love you so much. Every time I see the moon or I see the sun, the sunset, the sunrise, I think of you. So just know that. And to the moon, I gaze at it and I just hope that it heals and it helps heal. And I just look at it in awe because it's so beautiful. And I realize that, again, there's a bigger picture, right? Sometimes we focus on whatever we're going through at the moment. And then if you think about it, I mean, when you look at the sky, you see that there's so much out there. Kind of makes us all seem minuscule. So that's when I say, okay, God has a plan and it's in motion, and who the hell am I to question it? So I just appreciate what I have around me and appreciate the moment that I have right now, looking up at that beautiful sky, because that to me is a miracle.